Hey, and welcome to the Ambitious Bookkeeper podcast. I'm Serena Shoup, CPA, a mom of three, and I've been running a virtual bookkeeping business from my home since 2017. You are in the right place if you are a bookkeeper, accountant, or an accounting student, and you believe and know in your heart that your purpose is bigger than sitting in a cubicle. If you're ready to learn some actionable tips and strategies for starting and growing your accounting business, then I hope you stick around. Welcome to the show, Grace. How are you today?
I'm good. Thank you so much.
Awesome. A while back, I don't remember how I discovered you, to be honest, but I decided I love to try different things out and see how they work and then go and report back to my audience here on the podcast. And so several months back, I enrolled in your social media templates. So we're definitely going to be talking about that. But before we get into that, I want to go ahead and introduce yourself to our listener and let us know how you got to where you are, and then we'll just let the conversation unfold.
Yeah, awesome. So I'm Grace Costa. I'm the founder of Social Mixed Media, a marketing agency, and I also run Social Accountant, which is the marketing membership for bookkeepers and accountants. Before I started my business, I was an accountant for 8 years, almost 8 years. And in 2020, I left my job as a senior accountant at a bookkeeping firm. But it wasn't because of COVID. I actually just had my second child, and we also found out that my husband was deploying for 8 months. So I made the decision to step back and be home with my boys. Thankfully, during this time that my husband was overseas, things at home were going really well. And I actually had more free time than I had expected. And the entrepreneurial side of me decided to start a side hustle. And looking back, I've always had some kind of side hustle. I was teaching kickboxing for a few years, and I even ran a website and a blog with Google AdWords and affiliate stuff. But this time in 2020, I created a course. It was a course to help people find and land entry level virtual bookkeeping jobs. Because in my last role, I had been hiring and training new bookkeepers, so it felt like the natural thing to create. And I actually found a lot of success in growing my Facebook group, building an email list, engaging in other Facebook groups, and also creating content. But the big shift happened when I started noticing that many bookkeeping and accounting business owners were constantly asking about marketing and creating content. And that's when I decided to go all in marketing for bookkeepers and accountants. And now through the agency and the membership, our mission is to take one of the biggest struggles for bookkeepers and accountants, which is marketing and content creation, and we help make it fun and easy and profitable. Since then, I've built a rock star team of bookkeepers, accountants, and marketing specialists in different parts of the world to help write content and also manage our members' social media. Outside of work, I have an amazing husband. I have three little ones, an 8-year-old, 4-year-old, a 2-year-old. We love hanging out at the pool, going to the beach, and traveling whenever we get the chance.
Yeah, before we hit record, we were talking about the family vacation you're about to go on, and super cool. And that's just another testament to having a flexible business, of being able to do that kind of stuff. So kudos to you to
Thank
building
you.
something that allows you to take the time with your family and make those memories. So tell me about what the membership looks like versus, because you also said you have the agency.
Mhm.
So how do those interact together?
Oh, great question. So the agency was started and we were, handling custom projects at first. We were doing a lot of one-on-ones. And I really had it this way so that I can kind of fund my membership, like fun running ads and promoting my membership more, because that was really the goal, was to create more of like the freedom and flexibility. I didn't want to go back, being in that bookkeeping firm. I knew that I had to be expected to have Zoom calls with clients, and I knew that that was what I was trying to like move away from. But the
Mhm.
custom projects, the money that was coming from those custom projects helped me fund the advertising and helping with creating content and paying some of my team and things like that. So that's kind of how it started. And so now we're really just focused on the membership. But when you see that we also offer other services, it'll have like the agency name on the invoice and things like that.
So since you're focused mainly on the membership, is what you offer through the agency just kind of like an upgrade to the membership where you can like people can implement what they're already, you're implementing for them instead of like, for example, we get a bunch of templates. We have to apply our own branding,
Mhm.
like customize the captions, all that kind of stuff. Is that what you guys are offering, or do you also offer customized marketing services?
Oh, okay, great question. So I'll go over, what we do as far as like the membership. So the
Mhm.
membership, every month our members get a full month's worth of ready to post social media and email marketing content. And we also provide training tools and customer support to help them build their online presence and get clients. And along with that, we send up a lot of bonus marketing materials and goodies every month. But we're turning the membership more into like, more than just content and templates. It'll be more about community, support, mini workshops, giving business owners, essentially all the tools that they need to build their online presence and grow their business. And so with the agency, along with everything that we offer, like we want to create these tools and resources to stay at the forefront of changes, especially with what's to come with AI, and making sure members have the tools and everything they need to show up online.
Yeah. Awesome. So have you been building in different ways to help people utilize AI? I'm like going off on a tangent. I'm just so curious about stuff like this.
Oh, I know. And I mean, we could definitely talk about like how marketing is going to change, now that with the changes of AI in just the last few months, how that's going to change marketing. But yeah, we're definitely looking into a lot of ways that to integrate AI. Right now, just this year alone, we're going to be focusing on creating more niche specific content for our members, because we know that a lot of our members are also offering other things, or they may even want to look into like niching down. And so we want to be able to provide those kind of, resources and tools for them to proceed in those kind of directions.
Awesome. Okay, so I want to give our listener some like tactical stuff to take away. And I also, from a curiosity standpoint, am wondering what you're seeing like being effective and successful right now with the clients that you work with in the agency
Mhm.
and with your membership, because I'm sure you're hearing wins and all that kind of stuff. So I guess we could start there and then we
Yeah.
can, yeah.
So I know if you had asked me a few months ago, like how to go about marketing your business online, like I would have said, and this is also what we teach in the membership, is start by figuring out if you want to target a specific industry. And if you don't have a niche yet, I'd suggest focusing on local small business owners. Next, we tell you which platforms to market your business to reach those ideal clients. So X, aka Twitter, is great for big tech, SaaS, and finance. LinkedIn works really well for B2B and software too. Instagram and TikTok are perfect for creative entrepreneurs, content creators, and e commerce. And then Facebook, especially Facebook groups, are perfect for targeting local small business owners. And then I'd say spend 30 minutes a day, during your work week doing exactly this. Build your audience, add your ideal clients on your friend list on Facebook, and also add professionals in their network and industry to your friend list. And if you don't have a niche, then search for local business by typing in the search bar business owner plus location, for example, business owner Miami, and then Facebook will pull up the results for these business owners in your location and also auto suggest people with similar backgrounds. And actually, all of the platforms do this. So, and
Mhm.
for Instagram, you want to grow your following. For LinkedIn, you want to grow connections. So, building your audience is number one. Second is to post content. Third is to engage with your ideal client's content. And then lastly is to send friendly DMs introducing yourself and making connection. There's no selling at this point. It's just making a connection, letting them know, who you are, and if they have any questions about bookkeeping or accounting, to reach out to you. And so these are the four core organic marketing strategies to get clients online that we share also in social media. And this is how our members are getting results with inside the membership, along with posting content. But now, with all the changes with AI and more AI driven algorithms and the rollout of Google's AI mode, which is Google's new search, things are shifting really fast, and it's going to be a game of volume and visibility more than ever, because the more places you show up online and the more data that these AI algorithms have and AI agents have to match you with people that are searching for your services. AI is now deciding who sees what, and it's taken over how content is going to be shown. So the more signals that you send out, the more data it can work with. So given what's happening with AI, here's what I recommend. First, starting with the easiest is just making sure that your website, your social media profiles, your listing like Google Business Profile are all fully optimized and complete. Use keywords your audience is actually searching for, include specific services you offer, and your location, the city and state, and even softwares and programs that your clients use. So anything that can tie it back to them. So, for example, if your ideal clients are interior designers, and you're using certain interior designer softwares like Design Files for invoicing or Studio Designer for bookkeeping, make sure to add those descriptions. And if you don't have a niche, I recommend just optimizing for location. I know this is like basic stuff, but you'll be surprised how many people forget about these little things and don't update their descriptions
Mhm.
after creating their profiles and accounts. And this is also just to say how having a niche or just having a certain positioning is going to help all the more, because it just helps make marketing so much easier for you. And
Yeah.
so the second thing is to get listed on other websites and platforms. One of the great things about the accounting industry, as you know, Serena, is like there's a ton of software and tools built specifically for bookkeepers and accountants. And a lot of them offer affiliate programs, partner opportunities, public directories that can help you get more visible and grow your client base. So start with the tools like you're already using. See if they offer a directory listing, a certification, or partner perks, and take advantage of them. Then look into others that you can join for free.
Mhm.
There are new marketing tools like launching all the time, and many of them are looking for bookkeepers and accountants to partner with. And this is like the easiest way to promote your services, because you're essentially borrowing their platform and creating more visibility for yourself. Third is forming strong partnerships and collaborations. So write down your dream 100, but on a smaller scale, your dream 25, and write down like the names of individuals who have built or you want to build a relationship with, that you can borrow their audience or they can borrow your audience. Think professionals who connect with business owners like on a regular basis, like business attorneys, of course, CPAs, insurance brokers, marketers, business coaches, and other professionals that naturally love networking, like realtors, and social media managers. And I also recommend having like a generous referral program with these professionals and also with your clients. And then lastly, now we get into like the marketing portion is to develop your marketing strategy. Decide if you want to do in-person or online marketing. I recommend both. For
Mhm.
online marketing, decide if you want to do paid or organic. Paid marketing is like running Google ads and Facebook ads and is for business owners or businesses that have a dialed in niche and offer. So, for example, a good offer that's hyper specific would be a free tax assessment for real estate investors in Miami,
Mhm.
Florida. Or another example of a good offer is that's hyper specific is like a job costing workshop for residential contractors. So if you decide on the organic marketing strategies, then use the marketing strategies earlier that I mentioned, focusing on those four core strategies, building your following, posting content, engaging, and sending DMS. You don't want to post content but not build your audience because then you won't have people to see your content, and you don't want to engage on your ideal client's content if you don't have content yourself, because a lot of people now want to consume content before they take that next step, before trust has been established. And so once you've got your marketing plan figured out, schedule it in weekly and treat it like a process, like a SOP, and be really intentional and strategic with your time on social media. Ideally, you want to post content as many platforms as you can. Now with like third party schedulers, you can post your content on essentially like up to 4 to 5. Because once your posts are created, batch them and schedule them out for the month, and that should be on autopilot. And then on a daily or weekly basis during the work week, then you can focus on, building your audience, building your friend list, your following, your LinkedIn connections, engaging on their content, and then sending DMs. Overall marketing doesn't have to be complicated. Once you develop a plan and strategy, like it just comes down to like following the process and doing the steps and then sticking to the plan and making sure it's simple. And that's what gets the results.
Yeah, absolutely. So you mentioned a scheduler. Do you have a specific scheduler that you like to recommend for your members? I
Yeah.
have mine, but I'm curious to know what yours is.
Now we use Metricool.
Okay.
Yeah, because it schedules to all of the platforms that we recommend, which is Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and Google Business Profile. So
Okay.
that's what we recommend. And I think they're such a cool company. They're definitely always looking into like how to develop better tools and, experience for their customers. So that's what I recommend. But there's a ton of them out there. And
Mhm.
I think that a lot of them do have free trials like Metricool. Actually, you can post content up to 30 posts in a month for free, and there's a lot of platforms like that. So, just check them out and see how you like as far as like the user experience. Yeah, that's what we recommend.
Awesome. Yeah, I've been using Loomly for years now and they've improved a lot too, but yeah, I haven't tried I think you can create like a custom connection, so you probably can post to Google Business, but they might even have that linked already, but I don't use that because I have an online my niche is online businesses, so it's
Mhm.
not like location specific. But yeah, I know that is definitely Google My Business is a huge strategy if you're working with local businesses. Like
Yeah.
that is where you definitely
Oh,
need to
yeah.
focus.
It's like low hanging fruit,
Yeah.
it's easy to set up and to have, your clients post their reviews on there. It helps tremendously with SEO and things like that. And you have to think about Google as like the biggest online search platform and tool. So, you want to get on where it makes sense.
Yeah. So, what are you seeing like in your membership and with your clients? Are you seeing a specific platform that is working best with your templates, or are you seeing like like what trends are you seeing like right now as this is being recorded, it's
Yeah.
middle of 2025.
Yeah. So as far as trends as in like content or
Yeah, just like where people are finding success. Like, do you get your members letting you know, like, oh, I've been landing clients on Instagram, or
yeah.
I've been landing clients on LinkedIn because of this strategy that you shared?
Yeah. And so it really depends, where your ideal clients are.
Yeah.
And like I mentioned, Instagram, we do have a member that we do lead generation for, and we focus on Instagram only, and we
Hmm.
reach out, we do DM outreach only to interior designers. And you have to think of it as this way. If they're using the platform to market themselves, then it's a good indication that that's where you should be too.
Yeah.
So that's the question you want to ask is, are they also on here, and are they also posting content to market themselves? The only exception would probably be like construction, because a lot of them, it's more of like a male dominated industry. So like they focus more on like a referral network, and they
Hmm.
also focus more on like, search, going on Google and searching for the services that they ask for. So it's really just kind of understanding your client and kind of figuring out like where they could be. They have a ton of events for big tech, so I recommend going there. Obviously the templates and the content's going to help establish the business online presence,
Hmm.
and helping build trust and credibility, and just like letting people know that you exist and you are a legitimate business. But actually going out, and that's why I also mentioned having like an in-networking strategy as well, is like for those industries that are harder to get to when it comes to online. So maybe like Twitter would be really great to find out where the next events are, and then going to those events and doing the face-to-face networking and things like that.
Yeah, I use a combination, even though I'm like I said, my niche is mostly online businesses. Like I still go to in-person events
Yeah.
for those people and those customers. I want to circle back to, you said that you guys do offer, or at least you're doing it for one client. I don't want to say that you offer this, because sometimes we do something for one client and that's that. There's like one spot only. But the DM outreach, are you like what, I guess, for example, like one of the things that I've preached for a very long time is that like you can get clients without doing cold outreach. And I
Hmm.
still believe that.
Hmm.
But as someone who is curious like myself, like I would never want to do that type of thing for myself. But paying someone else to do that for me sounds a lot more comfortable. So what does that look like when you do that for other people? What's like the process?
We do run these services like every 5 weeks, because we want to give them enough time. But
Mhm.
basically our DM outreach is not the spammy kind where it's like hey, here's my link, like schedule a call or whatever. It's really more just to kind of, it's conversational approach. It's really just introducing yourself as somebody that if you have specific questions about bookkeeping, QuickBooks, or taxes, then you can reach out to me. And I even recommend sending DMs to just new followers. So if you have a new follower or even a new friend on your page, and just say, hey, thanks for the ad, or thanks for the follow, or thanks for the connection. And you can even say something simply like, if you know any business owners that are looking that need help with bookkeeping or accounting, just let me know, and then you can ask them about what they offer and things like that. And so it's like a kind of a mutual connection. But with when we send DMs, we've noticed that a lot of people are like, oh, bookkeeping and accounting, like they decide whether they need it or not. If they don't need it, but they're thankful that they have this connection, because you'll be surprised, they don't have a lot of bookkeepers and accountants in their circle.
Yeah.
You'll be surprised at that. And so they'll say thank you for the connection. If they're not ready, then you can gently ask them for their email to kind of give them more information about your services for their future reference. And then I recommend collecting emails. And then also you can let them know, like, hey, I'm going to start a newsletter. And if you don't mind, I'm going to add you to my newsletter so I can keep you up to date with tax deadlines and things like that. So when a
Yeah.
bookkeeper reaches out to me, I see it a little bit more innocent, to me, because we're a trusted bookkeeping and accounting is a very trusted industry, like more trusted than like lawyers and attorneys. So it's different when I receive a message from a bookkeeper than if I were to receive a message from, like, for example, like an insurance broker, or
Yeah.
you know, I don't know, another social media manager or whatever, because you know
Yeah.
that you're going to probably get those often. But when you see someone from, that's a bookkeeper, and then they send you a really friendly message about, like, hey, if you have any questions about QuickBooks, let me know. We it helps bring the guard down a little bit. And especially if they're already, like, using DMs to communicate with future clients, you're just kind of part of that conversation that's going on in their
Yeah.
sphere. Yeah.
Yeah. Are you utilizing any automation software like ManyChat for initiating those conversations and like tagging people and
Oh,
whatnot?
yeah, that's a really great one. And this is perfect for, lead magnet templates and things like that. We don't have it like incorporated into our membership, if that's what you're asking, but we're thinking about like creating like workshops and where we can kind of automate the whole DM
Yeah.
process and things like that. So yeah, those are one of our goals, is, using additional tools to help with kind of accelerating the process of with the whole marketing strategy, because I see it as like sending DMs is just a proactive approach to kind of like accelerating your marketing efforts,
Yeah.
because posting content, engaging is kind of passive, whereas, like, if you send DMs and if you're, building your audience, those are really proactive approaches.
Yeah. And those are just going to like speed up the process of warming up your
Yeah,
new
warming
followers.
up, building connections. And if
Yeah.
you do it on a daily basis, at least, a few times a week, you'll be surprised how far along you've come.
Yeah. So, one thing that like I mentioned at the top of the episode, I enrolled in the membership and get the templates. Full transparency, the only thing that I've been using are the like grid templates. So I haven't used any of the story templates or anything, but all of those are also in there, which like you provide so much value in that membership. When this episode airs, I think I will have already aired an episode with Alyssa where we have a discussion about using templates versus not.
Yeah.
So I'll link that in the show notes. But yeah, especially if you are like you know that your people are online and you want to build your presence. And like you said, now that AI is like, I'm coming up in AI searches for people. Like multiple people recently have said, oh, I found you from ChatGPT. And that I believe is a testament to the SEO and all the
Yeah, that's
visibility that they have
awesome.
online. So yeah, that is a thing I can confirm. But even if you're not looking for like necessarily if you're wanting to land clients on Instagram,
Mhm.
you are going to have to do a little bit more than just post and pray. You are
Mhm.
going to have to do the DM thing. You are going to have to engage with your audience,
Mhm.
but I still think the templates are effective.
Mhm.
But even at the bare minimum, like how I'm using them is purely for visibility.
Yeah.
I'm not really doing anything
Yeah.
with DMing unless there's specific people that like I'm trying to build relationships with.
Mhm.
But like there's definitely some missed opportunity for me. I'm like, okay, I'm writing notes
Mhm.
down. I'm like, okay, I have ManyChat. I need to set up an auto
Yeah.
DM when
Mhm.
people follow me
Mhm.
and things like that. Like right now I'm basically just using it to like get people to opt in to certain freebies and stuff, but definitely some missed opportunities there. Especially because part of my strategy has been like speaking like on other podcasts or summits and things. And so I'll get an influx of followers from things like that. And I am not capitalizing
Yeah.
on that. But at least I have the presence
Yeah.
because I have the templates.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
There's so much that can be done. And that's like another thing that I want to give people permission to, like I said, like I'm not using any of the other templates except for the templates that go on my Instagram grid.
mhm.
And so I don't want like you can start small, right? You
Yeah,
can
oh
just
yeah, definitely.
even just take one per week and start with that if that feels doable. And then next month, add a few more. And then the next month, sit down and just do all of them.
Mhm.
Yeah, like you don't have to do everything at once. And I honestly feel like when you do try to do that, that's when you will burn yourself out and get really discouraged because you'll put all this effort into going big and making sure you're doing every little piece and you're posting on every single platform and you've posted every single template that Grace sent out, and then you don't see results in the first month, and then you're going to get really discouraged because like that's going to happen. Like you're not good. I didn't see any results the first month or two at
Mhm.
least that
Mhm.
I was using the templates, and I knew that because I know how marketing works. It's a
Yeah,
long game.
yeah,
But but yeah, since then I've had multiple leads and clients say, "Yeah, someone gave me your name as a referral and then I went and looked you up on Instagram and Google and found all this stuff." So it's
yeah.
like I use ChatGPT to do research on people who want to do collaborations with me or
Awesome.
people that book a call with me. I'll drop the website on and have ChatGPT like give me a breakdown of like their background and give me some pointed questions to ask. Like there's
Yeah.
so many ways that you can use AI in the marketing and sales process that
Mhm.
yeah, would just wanted to share
Yeah,
that.
that's really awesome. I love that all of those search results are coming, and I think it's becoming more hyper personalized and hyper specific. And I think the changes are going to be, it's going to be unknown for a lot of people. Even the people creating these AI tools don't know what's going to be happening in the next couple of years. So,
Yeah.
we're going to be all ears and all eyes and making sure that, we're creating the things that they need to propel their business forward, because I think that's really, really important. And then now with community leaders like you and I, we're doing our best to make sure that we keep our community informed with these things, and I think that's going to be really important too. So that's why I love the idea of having like that dream 25, and then also partnering with these, like with QuickBooks, Relay is a great example. Gusto, they have all these directories, and you can even take it a step further and even like suggest or propose that you write like an article for them, because this is what AI wants. Like AI wants to see more information, more credible resources of you, your business, and the more that you have of that, then it's going to be really easier for it to match you to those people.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you so much for joining me on the podcast. I was super excited to have you on as a guest after months of me using the template. So I was like, I'm gonna invite her on after I after I actually use these and make sure that like definitely huge value. Depending on how you use it, will depend on your success with them for
Mhm,
sure.
mhm.
One of the tips that I think has helped me not feel like I'm using a template, because I know that's probably a question you get a lot is like, well, what if I'm posting the same thing that all the other bookkeepers are posting? Number
Yeah.
one, I follow lots of bookkeepers and I see the templates and I can pinpoint them. But the cool thing is like I post mine in a different order than everyone else
Oh,
does.
yeah, that's cool.
For one, like, I don't know if you have a calendar that you suggest people post in a certain order, but I just choose when I want, other than the ones that are like specifically for a holiday.
Mhm.
Everything else, I just kind of post randomly in a different order. And then the other thing that I do as well is I actually try to rewrite a lot of the captions, like with the same general theme,
Mhm.
but in my voice. So I think that's important.
Yeah.
And then the third thing is I use my own branding photos
Oh, yeah,
as
perfect.
like anytime you have a photo, like a stock photo in one of the posts as an image, I
Mhm.
always try to replace it with one of my own branding photos. And then, of course, I use my brand guide, like my colors, my logo,
Yeah.
my fonts. I think that's really important for
Mhm.
people to do too. And the other thing too is like, if you're following a bunch of other bookkeepers, you're going to think everyone's using the template
Yeah.
because that's what you're seeing. But your clients and your potential clients likely are not following a bunch of
Yeah.
bookkeepers.
No, they're not.
So don't worry.
Yeah, and that's
Yeah.
why I said, like, you gotta build your audience of your ideal clients, of
Yeah.
of the people that need to see your content, And so if you're not, if you're in that world, then you're in their world now. And so you can kind of like see what's going on with them, and how you can even naturally engage with them on through their
Yeah.
content as well. So one of the things that we do recommend, like to make it more personal, is like you can turn any of those posts into like a carousel, so you can add a page right before, the actual page, and put an image of you or something else, and then turn it into a carousel,
I love that.
yeah. And you can also pull the captions, and then you can put captions on there or whatever. So, with using Canva, it's just so much easier to like customize and like
Mhm.
really personalize it to your own. And I've seen our content be changed in different ways, and I'm like, wow, that's really cool how she did that.
Yeah.
And a lot of our members are still posting content, whether it's like video reels or stories, or just, posting some content like personal experiences and things like that. So it's not just like our content, it's just kind of like a holistic approach,
Mhm.
to their whole content strategy game.
I'll add one other thing too when it comes to like feeling like you're in a world of everyone using the same templates is
Mhm.
if you are following a bunch of other bookkeepers, you're giving Instagram the wrong
Yeah,
message
exactly.
of who should be following you. So I suggest try not to follow a bunch of bookkeepers. And if you do, follow them from your personal account or
Mhm,
something. But
mhm,
if you follow them from your business account, Instagram is going to get the message that, oh, you want to see other bookkeepers. They're going to feed you more and they're going to
mhm.
feed your profile to those bookkeepers as well. So I don't think that's the best strategy. And LinkedIn is the same way.
Yeah, and all the yeah.
If all your connections are bookkeepers and accountants, that's what you're going to see.
Exactly. I know it's really easy to do that because at first Facebook is going to say, "Hey, you're an accountant. I'm going to suggest other accountants for you." So like naturally
Yeah.
that's what's going to happen. But you have to stop there, and you have to tell the algorithm, "No, that's. Not what I want." You know,
Mhm.
and if you continue, on a daily basis or weekly basis, if you continue to follow, add friends, that are within that kind of circle or that network, then that's how you work the algorithm to your
Yeah.
advantage. Also, like we have, hashtags for locations. So I think that's really helpful too, for if you don't have a niche, it's important to have your city and state. And like I mentioned earlier, just optimizing for location, it's such an easy SEO strategy, because when you think about it, like the three main factors of like how AI scans content and personalized content is by interest, behavior, and location, because they want to make sure that you're also consuming content that's English speaking, not in different countries. So it's going to be
Mhm.
really personalized to like what you're doing, what are you searching, and like where you're at. So take advantage of making sure that you have your city and state, and also having a Google business profile, because I think when you start, when you do the in person networking, you're going to start locally. I think you want to start locally and then go on to like bigger events, because the local business owners, they're the ones that they love being able to work with people that are nearby, because, they don't have online businesses. They're like mom and pop. So like a lot of it
Yeah.
is just interface. So like, if you get into their world, like I think that it just feels more natural for them. So I think that that would be a good strategy for networking, giving business cards, handing out flyers or things like that. And then also reciprocating and then giving information about their business and business cards and things like that. So I think people should never forget about that part of like in networking locally, and then also like, attending the big events and things like that.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you again.
Yeah.
I know I said that, like, "Thanks for coming on the podcast," and then we went on a whole new tangent. But if people want to get a hold of these templates and the membership that we were just talking about, or just connect with you online, where is the best place for everyone to contact you and connect?
So I'm on Facebook at Social Accountant, and then on Instagram we're at socialaccountant.media, and then on LinkedIn we're at Social Accountant.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So once you go there, you should find links to everything that we talked about. There will also be links in the show notes. Thank you again, Grace, so much
Thank
for coming on
you.
the podcast. I really appreciate all the work that you are doing for our industry. It's a lot of content that you're creating,
Oh, yeah.
and
Yeah.
I know you have a team, so thank them as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, thank you for creating this for
Thank
us.
you. Thank you. We try to make the content really like real time and relevant to what's happening right now, because it's not about just creating random content. It's like you have
Mhm.
to have a strategy, you have to be intentional, you also want it to be trendy, like what's going on, and informative at the same time. So just kind of before we take off, I wanted to just say, like, for business owners, for bookkeeping business owners that are creating content for yourselves, to how to make your content creation easy, just think about like two core questions. And this is how we create our content too. It's like, number one is, what are business owners thinking about this month or in the next couple months? And then second, what should they be thinking about when it
Mm,
comes to their business finances and what they might be overlooking or missing? Because right now business owners aren't thinking about tax season anymore. So they're not going to want that to see that tax post, tax deduction post, but they are, probably thinking about hiring their kids for the summer, and what are the tax benefits for that? And then lastly, like, how there's the whole QuickBooks versus zero kind of thing going on. And so we created a promotional post about, can I hire you to switch accounting softwares? And we had a tag subtitle like, yes, we're happy to do that for you. So when it comes to content creation, it shouldn't be hard. Just answer these two things. And if you have a niche, obviously answer what interior designers should be thinking about this month. And so yeah, I just wanted to say that because I know content creation is like still a big struggle for business owners, particularly bookkeeping and accounting business owners.
Yeah, I tend to feel like our industry is like so boring to talk about, but if you niche down, like it actually provides you more opportunity of things to talk about
Mm-hmm.
because you're not trying to be generic. And so
Mm-hmm.
it's like you can specifically apply this to their business and their type, and it just makes it a lot more fun, to be honest.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
But yeah.
exactly.
All
Okay,
right.
well,
Thank
thank you
you.
again.
Yeah, thank you so much. You're the best. And we will talk to you soon. Make sure you guys, if you're listening and anything in here was you found helpful or resonated, please reach out to Grace and myself and let us know. Take a screenshot of the episode and share it on your social media, please. And we will talk to you next week. Thank you to everyone who helps make this podcast possible. Content and interviews are produced by me, Serena Shoup. Our intro and outro music is written and performed by my brother, Ian Gilliam. Editing is also by Ian using his awesome sound engineering skills along with Descript software. Hosting and publishing is by Buzzsprout. And you can check out the show notes for links to all of these amazing resources and resources mentioned in the episode.
Be ambitious.